Don't close your door to anyone who knocks. Malay mo, tayo pala sa huli. Dear Joe, I've been an avid listener of your radio program, and I never thought that I'll be writing to you and sharing my story because I thought my love life was close to perfect. I met this fairly handsome guy in college. His name was Mark. He seemed to be very nice and very generous. My best friend Joyce even liked him to be my boyfriend. Even though Mark caught my heart at one glance, I made the courting last for about 5 months before I finally said yes to him, the night of March 5 of 1998. It felt like heaven, Joe. Our first 6 months were more of like the sweetest and purest of love. We were so much in love that almost every day we exchanged love notes and even share a journal. Eventually, we became intimate to each other. Giving yourself to someone you love means you want to be with him for the rest of your life. And that was how I considered our relationship. We are both Filipino Chinese and our families are very much supportive of our relationship. Joe, I have been told once by Joyce that she saw Mark holding hands with a girl in a mall and had gone into the cinema. I didn't believe her, and that strained our relationship. I only realized that Joyce was telling me the truth. One night, when the girl spoke to me on the phone asking if Mark and I were still together, I kept composed and answered all her queries. I told her that yes, we were very much together, and that I didn't believe Mark would do such a thing to me. And besides, we're engaged already. To convince me, Joe, the girl met up with me in a restaurant, and to my shock, I saw everything that there was to see. All their pictures together, his letters with his very own handwriting, and notes from flowers he sent her. It hurt like hell, and I wanted to die that very instant. It wasn't just the fact that Mark cheated on me, but seeing the photos of them together and captured on the same place he used to take me hit me like a bullet straight to my heart. Joe, the girl, just left me alone in the restaurant crying. Not even on an apologetic way she said a word. Maybe that's what she wanted. And that was to make me leave Mark. I never told him about my meeting with his number 2 Joe. Instead, I played the martyr type and pretended to be blind and deaf, hoping that somehow I could win Mark's heart back and he would forget the girl. But I failed, Joe. After 5 foolish months, I finally gave up. I realized that maybe it wasn't my fight after all, and the one I've fought for didn't even want to be defended. Years have passed and the hurt and the longing for Mark are still here. I tried to open up my heart to someone else, but no matter how I tried to get my life back on track, it wasn't always easy. Joe, I had 2 unsuccessful relationships after Mark. The problems weren't all in my partners, but almost all in me. I had a hard time trusting them, and I developed an attitude of just giving up when things are getting a little shaky. One lasted for only 2 months and the other for a year. My last relationship was okay. The guy really loved me so much and really took care of me. But the only problem was he's not Chinese. I may not have loved the guy like I loved Mark, but I rebelled just to seek contentment and hopefully happiness. I got pregnant and got married in civil rights, but still I wasn't happy, and the marriage wasn't working. Joe, my family hid me to escape the shame and disgrace from our relatives and friends. For me, it wasn't that bad. I didn't really care what other people would say about how I run my life. But then I have wronged my parents, and so to make up for it, I followed what they wanted. When I gave birth to my son, he was the happiness I ever longed to have. My baby was very much like me and held a very strong Chinese look. He was the tie that bonded my family back together. Joyce and I became friends again, and we were closer than ever. And she's also the godmother of my baby. Mark and I never communicated, Joe. I only depended on news through common friends. I thought that was how it's going to be until this 12th of May. When Mark came over to our house, I asked him what he was up to and why he was eager to see me. After 4 years that seemed forever, he had the guts to face me like nothing wrong ever happened. He held my hand and only said sorry. For me, Joe, sorry wasn't enough to take away all the pain. I wanted to slap him, but I couldn't. I just cried and spilled out all that I wanted to tell him for a long time. After I have unloaded all my misery, I felt a little better. Relieved, I guess. He mentioned my baby and told me that he looked like me and is so cute. Well, I just said, yeah, he could have been yours and mine anyway. He quickly changed the topic and talked about his work. Our conversation ended quite well and light. I don't know if it's going to be the first or the last of Mark. For me, I had said what I had to say. It was relieving, but then I still miss him. I'm still hoping to win him back. All I can refresh my mind of that talk was him saying, "Don't close your door to anyone who knocks. Malay mo, tayo pala sa huli." Joe, I admit I'm still not over Mark. What he said before he left my house gave me hope to pursue what my heart tells me to do. But then I'm scared of taking another risk and be sorry my whole life. Love indeed moves in mysterious ways. More power to your program. Sincerely yours, Ivy. Ivy, I wanted to tell you that things would have been a lot less complicated had you not rebelled and married for the wrong reason. But I guess it's too late now. You are married to your lawful husband, and it doesn't really matter if you still love each other or not. You will remain married to each other unless you opt to legitimately put an end to it. This is just the other side of the coin. Another equally important aspect of this dilemma is you and Mark's feelings for each other. You still love him up to now, and you are still hoping against all hope that he will find his way back to you. He did, but he left you hanging with the wishful hope of a reunion which may or may not happen at all. Ivy, I have always believed that there is nothing wrong with loving a person. But when our world stops because of that love, when we lose sight of our own selves because of our longing to be with someone, when we begin to compromise for what our heart dictates, then we will lose our ability to act and think rationally and make sensible decisions. Having your sentiments made known to Mark is one giant step to freedom. Freedom from your past. Ivy, no one knows what the future holds for us. Let us all make the best of today so we can always look back with a smile and look forward to tomorrow with the hope of not making the same mistakes again and the hope of finding love that will last us our lifetime.